Jai Sri Ram, everybody. Welcome to Bharat Marg. Welcome, Vinay Ji. Thank you for joining Bharat Marg. Appreciate it highly. And friends, it is going to be the topic today is the Khalistani Canada. Okay, the Vancouver Unsafe for Living. Jagmeet Singh and NDP. Which is which is ruling the BC. The human right violations that is happening constantly over there. Vancouver police look the other way when the mob attacks a child right activist. Okay, so yeah, we will be discussing about it. What is the culture? What is the culture and the pattern we see in Vancouver with Vinay Ji, and it is going to be awesome. Just stick around, folks. Okay, but before going further, friends, please make sure to like the video, comment on the video, and also share the video. Also, friends, please, if you are here for the first time, please make sure to subscribe the channel Bharat Marg, and also press the notification bell to make sure that you get notified as we go live, so that you can come and join, ask any questions you have, and participate in the part of the conversation. Okay, the poor guy is standing there for child rights, and see why I'm asking about this thing. I'll just give a brief, Vinay Ji. What is my question? Okay, see, the police don't have enough support also inside. Okay, let me say you why. The 80 odd Khalistani students, okay, once we did a video on it, okay, they almost attacked the police. In Vancouver. We did a video on it. People can see it on the Real History, the Untold. Okay, we both did the video. And guess what? That time when the police asked for backup and nobody came, almost for 30 to 40 minutes, no backup came, and the police have to almost escape and run away. After he disciplined the students, Khalistani students over there. So why is the police afraid of the goons? If they stand against them, there won't be no backup coming. What is the thing you take on? Okay, I am just playing the devil's advocate here.
No, it's
welcome,
Vinay. Thank you. It's funny that you started off on this note, because if you recall the freedom march, the freedom protest, right? The police and the government were extremely vindictive, and they kind of controlled them in a certain area in Ottawa. And then eventually, when the protesters did not leave, and it was a peaceful protest, they were not throwing grenades, bombs, or causing any kind of crazy violence or whatever, right? It was a peaceful march. They were all in trucks, and yes, they were parked in places there, but they were minding their own business. And yet the government became vindictive, and they said that they have to bring in an emergency, and they brought in an emergency law through which they kind of evacuated the protesters. So
not only evacuated. Okay, let's go right, Vinay Ji. They took the money out of the accounts.
Yeah, they basically blocked their accounts, and they made them miserable. And eventually, the party that started off with the several thousand started dwindling, because ultimately they were not able to sustain, because the government was basically had freeze their account and the bank accounts, and they were running out of money. They were not working. These are truck drivers, and so ultimately they had to leave. So what I'm saying is, why does Canada claim to be a democratic country?
And one more thing, Vinay Ji, one more thing. That was supported by the Khalistani terrorist gang, okay, of Jagmeet Singh. Why I'm calling him Khalistani terrorist? I'm very, very cautious of my word, because for his terrorist connections, his passport is banned. He cannot enter into the land of Bharat.
Yes.
He cannot, right? Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
He cannot, and his Twitter account is blocked because of the fake news he is spreading. Okay, yeah. And he and his buddy, who are in bed with right now, Justin Trudeau, the Canadian PM, they both signed for emergency law together.
Correct. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, obviously, Trudeau's government is a minority government. So, obviously, he needed Jagmeet Singh's support to bring in this emergency law. But end of the day, the Canada is on the top 10 of the best countries to live in, and according to some survey, and also calls itself one of the pioneers, or one of the, not, I shouldn't say pioneers, one of the most democratic countries in the world, and all kinds of stuff, right? Like, where violence and things are not tolerated. Everything is intolerance is not tolerated. They look for equality, equanimity, and equity, and blah blah blah, and all that stuff. Yet, what I'm surprised, they do not support protesters, or they do not even, I don't even want to say support, they don't even condone.
When it happens in their own country, when it is outside, when it happens in India, the Khalistani gang and Trudeau gang come together to give us advice on how the democracy should function.
When the farmers' protest happened in India, Trudeau was like one of the first ones to comment about, why can't the Indian government let the farmers peacefully protest? But here, let's come back to this billboard, Chris, the one that you have on your screen you had a moment ago. Billboard Chris is a protester, and he's a peaceful protester, and he's protesting for a cause. Okay, it's called Children Cannot Consent to Puberty Blockers. Okay, let's go a little deep into what it means. What are puberty blockers? Puberty blockers are drugs which, like the name says, completely block puberty from occurring. Basically, it is a complete botched up version of what Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde did in their laboratory. This is I'm talking about a book that was written by Robert Louis Stevenson a long time ago, about a Dr. Jekyll and a Mr. Hyde character. And he used to create all kinds of concoctions and drink it and try it and whatever, right? And then he became a monster. So because the guy didn't want to live the life that he was given by God. And here, puberty blockers are exactly doing that. These are scientifically or laboratory created drugs that actually curtail and prevent a boy from becoming a man, or a girl from becoming a woman. Okay? And they are prescribed to healthy children as young as 10 years old, who present with a condition known as gender dysphoria, a feeling that they want to be the other gender. Okay. At 10-year-old or 11-year-old or 9-year-old, whatever, right? Like, kids are playful, and they are, they do some cross-dressing or some other things and whatever. That doesn't mean that they want to become a boy. I mean, I have two girls, and they kind of one dresses up as a man, one dresses up as a woman when they're dancing, and they switch roles and blah 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 and whatever, right? And this is all part of a playful thing. But that doesn't mean the parents have to take this seriously, or guardians have to take this seriously, and then take them to the doctors and get them puberty blockers. There have been no long-term clinical studies done on children. Puberty blockers are being used off-label to block kids' healthy natural development with grave physical consequences. The few small studies we do have show that they don't even provide any psychological benefit. Okay. And this is, again, there is something called as gender ideology. What is gender ideology? It's a pseudo-religious movement which claims that children can be born in the wrong body. So this little small group of some individuals, they've come together and say that, oh, there is gender ideology in this. What is so? There's they claim.
Don't. I object to couple of things today. You are being politically wrong. You cannot call. Of course, you corrected it at the end of it. That is, you cannot call the people who take care of the children as parents, because that could be seen as a very, very homophobic word today's this thing. Second is whatever, you cannot call small group because Canadian PM is wearing a pink socks and he's marching with them. So why will you call them small group?
These are
It's a Canadian PM.
These are small groups that are that have the support of the government and the prime minister, because everybody believes in this equity, equality, right? So, and I'm coming to the issue that you have right now. So I just want to finish this. These guys, they claim that we all have a gender identity which takes precedence over our biological sex. So even if I'm born as a man, or if somebody is born as a woman, we don't have any right over our body. Okay. So gender identity, basically, it's entirely based on stereotypes. Children are taught that it is in their interests, best interests, hobbies, likes and dislikes, which determine their gender. So if, let's say, my girls, both of them love to play with cars. Okay. They love airplanes. So does that make them a boy? Or
No.
if a boy is playing with...
But if they play with the blue car all the time, not the pink car, then maybe...
Sorry, sir, I don't agree with you. That is not...
No.
That is totally irrelevant, because you know what? This is what is causing all these... aspersions and people thinking that they are like God. They can do whatever they can, create all these concoctions in laboratories, and and basically botch up kids' minds, and kids have to be left alone. And this is exactly what the Billboard Chris was doing. And in Vancouver, it was on a day when there were a bunch of people from the the Trans Day of Visibility. It was a rally that was organized by transgenders in a park called Grandview Park in Vancouver. And he was just standing there, and he had the billboard stuck on his body, and he was just standing there, and then somebody came to interview him, and he was answering. And then a bunch of these transgenders, they came and started yelling and shouting and swearing at him, and the Vancouver police was standing right there. And one of the Vancouver police cops, she's a lady cop, she was standing, and she had a smirk on her face, and she was smiling, and she saw what was going on. And despite that, they did not give any kind of protection to this man, the Billboard Chris. He was overpowered, and two of the the transgenders literally physically assaulted him, and you can see that in the video. I believe you have a video of that, and they literally pushed him. Okay, and if you don't mind, you could play that video for the benefit of the viewers.
No, I will show the images rather. The thing is available.
If you have an image of the
YouTube,
person, one of the transgenders pushing him, also you could show that to the viewers. And so this is exactly what happened.
He's a man. He's okay. Let me correct it. She's a man. What do you say? She's a man. How do you say? My English is not that good enough. Or he is not he. He is she.
Yeah, they basically these people call themselves they. They don't like to get addressed as she or he. They're addressed as they. So the person there in the picture, if you see right beside Billboard Chris, they pushed him.
Mhm.
And they in this case is singular,
Right.
right? Not plural. Okay. They
Right.
pushed him and he fell. And at that point, the police came and look at this lady, this lady cop smiling and have a smirk on her face, and she's not doing anything. And then
Right.
when the media interviewed her and asked her, how come you did not offer any protection to this guy? She said, oh, he was actually violating, and he was causing a lot of violence there. So is
Right.
protest standing in silence and protesting is violence in this country? Has it come down to that?
Yeah. 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 In fact, she goes on in the video. In the video, she goes on to say that he bit his own ears.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
And this is what she said. She said, "Oh, it can happen. People hit themselves. People do that."
See here, when the man is getting strangled, she is smiling and she is standing behind, right? And see here, here the police is putting the hands on the pocket and standing. No
Mhm.
security, no protection. They just let him to die, basically.
Exactly. The transgender, they actually put their hand on Chris and pushed him. You can see that in that picture. And this lady is watching.
Absolutely.
This lady cop is watching and doing nothing. So this is
Absolutely.
what it's come
Vinay, I
down to.
just want to go through some of the comments on the video, So kind of you can take it from there. I just take a minute to go through the comments, below the video where the comments are reading. She recorded, ignored the criminal behavior right in front of her with a smirk on her face, like you exactly said. Refused to follow VPD policy and identify herself by name, then runs to her boss and complain she being attacked on social media, and boss goes to media to defend her. Okay, this is beyond appalling. So when you go through it, you see, if she is not fired, banned, or from law enforcement, Canada is more done than I thought. Vancouver police, you are disgrace into the uniform. The woman needs to be fired. Okay, so to be fair with the Vancouver police, okay, we found the same thing with the Peel Region police. We did the video of it. But anyway, so people are really upset. You can see how many how retired 2015. I'm horrified, discussed in this officer and all other silently standing, and clear cut case is underestimate. So you find the people, watch her reaction when the violence pops up. She puts her hands up and backs away into the crowd of the cops, like the Homer Simpson. So she needs to be fired. These are all the comments you see.
Yeah.
You don't find one comment except me who is supposed.
No. These
You
are
don't find
genuine
one comment.
comments. The people are afraid. Like if the police cannot protect a peaceful protester, how the heck are they going to protect the community? Because what tomorrow, I'm just hypothetically saying, a bunch of people claiming that they want equity, equality, whatever, start attacking houses just willy-nilly, and then what? Canada is home for a lot of immigrants, okay, and we are all immigrants, and Canada keeps bringing in immigrants, refugees, and all of them. But tomorrow, if the government decides that we should not be discriminating against the immigrants, marginalizing the immigrants, so a certain section of the immigrants, let's say one particular population of the immigrants who are from a certain country are coming here, and these people cause some anxiety or start attacking let's say the Caucasian community or the black community, or because all these people maybe they have they live in a certain area or whatever, right? So if these people start attacking them and the police are just standing there
like
saying,
they
oh,
do
we
to
can't do anything because
Hindu temples, like they
exactly.
do to Hindu temples. 20 of the Hindu temples were vandalized by the Khalistani terrorists, and no action has been taken. And
Correct.
now, same the Khalistani leader Jagmeet Singh is bringing the same culture over there to
Yeah,
Vancouver.
because this started off with the Freedom March, and now it's going for any peaceful protest is not condoned in Canada. That's what it's coming down to, and the government is preaching the police officers. The police officers, I'll tell you, are they do their job, but they do what they're told to do. They have a certain mandate, and they have certain guidelines, and even they're kind of constrained in carrying out their duties fearlessly and without any bias. Unfortunately, that's what it's come down to. Police officers are typically very honest. They do their stuff fantastic. But when the
But
government
they,
who controls the police officers, the police department, tells them, hey, listen, these are the guidelines you follow, this is what your objective is, and you do not condone peaceful protesters and blah blah blah. You make sure that if it's a transgender community that is protesting versus a peaceful protest, and who do you have to go with? Protect the transgenders, because this individual doesn't have anything, because this transgender is part of the minority community, so you got to protect them. That is how it's come down to.
and see the face of the person who is going for choking.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable. And see the face of the cop. This is the cop, folks.
yeah.
Whether you believe it or not, you know, uh, uh, this is the cop. And same thing, Vinay ji. You know what? Yesterday, the pick and choose what they do in Canada is unbelievable. Yesterday, we will do a video on it. One guy shouted in Markham. There is a correlation between this and that. In front of a mosque, and every newspaper have written about it. And 20 of the Hindu temples have been vandalized. 20
Yeah.
of the Hindu temples, and nobody talks about it, because Canada discriminates against Hindus, First Nations, and blacks.
No,
That's
but
it.
I'll also be honest with you, Mr. Daripon. I'll be honest with you. With regards to certain communities, if a mice goes by, they say a tiger went by. But the Hindu community is opposite. They kind of
No.
they kind of hold back everything. They kind of say, oh, it's not a big deal, why should we make it a big deal? We are not going to tell people. This is the problem with the Hindu community. I'll be honest, and I've seen it happen time and again. They kind of underplay everything, downplay everything. But whereas the other communities, they make a huge big deal about everything that happens to them. The other day there was an attack on a Sikh boy in one of the subways in Toronto, and you know what? Every newspaper carried it because the Sikh community makes a big issue about it. But when Hindus are attacked or whatever
But
happens,
when
they
these
don't make a big deal.
when these Sikhs vandalize Hindu temple to please their ISI people, Khalistani guys,
Right.
And what do they write about it? No. 20 of the temple, you can say whatever you want, Vinay ji. At the end of the day, it comes to voting the mass. They don't want your
I'm
vote,
not disputing
my
with you,
vote.
but
Without your vote and my vote, they can win.
No, I'm not disputing that with
They
you.
want
but
the criminals' vote. They don't want your vote.
Hindus are not united; they're divided. This is the problem. This is my
Yeah,
major
they
problem.
better learn.
And Hindus have to come together. They have to organize a huge press conference where they're bringing in about 50 media houses and organize a huge press conference and say, this is what happened to my temple. This is what happened to me. If they start doing that,
No.
yes. They will also
see,
get the
like Twitter,
attention.
Elon Musk said, even though you bring 50 people, 100 media houses, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, the government-funded media will not write about it. Okay,
That is
that's
true.
what
That
Elon
is true.
Musk wrote about BBC, right? So
That
they
is
are not going to do it. Okay, because for them, whether it will be blacks, whether it is indigenous people, or it is Hindus, they are nothing. They discriminate against. That's how I feel it, because it
Mhm.
never happened. 20 of our temple have been vandalized and no action literally, and no
Absolutely.
safety today to go inside a temple as me. Okay, and see here, peaceful protester, you cannot even do a protest, and these guys so called in the police uniform will let you go for the mass to eat you. This
Yeah,
guy was so, I saw the video of Chris, and he was so composed. He was so he he looked like a Gandhian or whatever,
exactly.
so to say.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. No, I
And this
agree with
guy
you.
didn't punch back, nothing.
No, he did not. He just fell because when that transgender pushed him, he just fell. And if you remember a few days ago, or a few months ago, when in England, in Liverpool, they attacked a temple, Hindu temple, a bunch of Khalistanis, or not Khalistanis, it was actually a Muslim mob that attacked the
Both.
Liverpool temple.
The Khalistanis are nothing but the servants of the ISI.
Yeah. So
They work on
it was
their
a
money.
Muslim mob that attacked. But guess what? All the cops, the British cop, the British police, they were all standing there and watching while they were vandalizing the
Yeah,
temple, and they were just
we
had
will do
stuck.
a separate video on it. We will do a separate video on it, because I can show you again and again how the whites discriminate blacks, indigenous people, and Hindus. For them, there is a huge discrimination, and how they do it. This is what I believe. If I am wrong, go ahead and comment and prove I am wrong. Okay,
Yeah,
and I would love to hear it. But then again, Vinayji, this is unbelievable. Today in Canada, where they write their own thing. They see, that's the thing. The poor guy was standing by himself, holding this board, for which he was punched on the nose, punched on the bite. They bite the ears, and the police says you bite your own ears. I don't know how you can bite your own ears, but she
exactly.
is the one. But I'm sure she will get a promotion with the Trudeau government, that's for sure.
Who
And
knows?
Jagmeet Singh is spreading love. Can you see this? He is
Yeah,
spreading love everywhere.
yeah,
Khalistani guy.
of
What do you
course.
say? Last word. We are done.
No, you're right, because this peaceful protests and stuff are being completely named as the somebody with violence and somebody coming up with violence and stuff. So, and this is unfortunate what's happening. So this has to stop in Canada.
Absolutely. I'll thank you, Vinay Ji, and I will ask all the participants, all the viewers, to write your comment. What do you think? What Vinay Ji is saying, and what you went through the video. What is your opinion? Just write on it, and we would love to hear from you. Again, thank you very much, Vinay Ji. Appreciate what you do, and we will love to talk to you again. Okay, very
Very good.
soon. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.